I always thought I wanted to be on Broadway. That was my goal until about my 11th grade, until I was a junior in high school. And then I joined a choir and I got interested in singing classical music. I took a tour to Europe with a choir and we went all over different countries in Europe and I got to hear a lot of classical music and I thought, boy, I really like this stuff. But I still didn't know that opera was a course to take. So when I got home, I said to my mom and dad, I said, I think I want to study voice and get serious about singing a little bit more. So I took voice lessons in my senior year in high school. And my voice teacher said to me, he goes, I'm going to do an opera down here in New Jersey. It's just a local production. Would you like to be in it? I said, yeah, I've never been in one. So he goes, good, let's do it. And it was the opera Faust by Gounod. So I sang in the opera and I said, now this I really like because I don't have to dance. You have to act, but all the time you're singing. And I really felt comfortable singing. So I thought, this is what I think I want to do. So I went home and I said, I want to go to college to study to be a singer, a classical singer, and maybe get into opera.
I was studying economy at the university, and at the same time I like music so much. At the beginning I listened a lot of rock, pop music. I was fond of Led Zeppelin. And so when I was in the university, I asked if there was a chorus there to sing. And I started to sing there in the chorus, polyphonic music, but my voice was too loud for the chorus, and the maestro told me, why don't you go to study as a soloist? So I went to the music school in Rome. I started to sing there, and in a few years I started my career.
I decided to take voice lessons when I was in high school, and I was in Southern California at this time. So I could very easily have gone the pop route or country western, but I asked my choral conducting teacher if he knew of anyone who taught voice, and it turned out that his wife did, and she was an opera singer. And that's how I was introduced to opera. I knew so little about it that she sent me out to find an aria. And I went to the music store and I looked through the music, and sheet music this was. And because I played piano, I sort of could recognize the tune. And I thought, well, this is a nice aria, after I've discovered what that even meant. And took it to her, and she said, well, this is a very pretty aria. It's usually sung by a tenor. And it turned out that it was Nessun Dorma. So she led me off into another direction, which was probably safer for me at that young age. But I haven't put away the possibility of doing Nessun Dorma at some point in my life.
I always sang as a child. I loved singing, but my parents really discouraged that. They thought it would be much more than I could serve my race. I should be an academician. But finally, I spent my junior year in Stockholm. The University of Stockholm was my first European experience to go. And once you are away from your parents, you can make decisions on your own. I thought, you know, what I really want to do is I want to become a singer. And after my junior year, I came back to college, Union College in Schenectady, New York. And that's when I got my Watson Fellow. And I was sort of playing around that I might take my Watson Fellowship and do something in ethnomusicology, study the musics of various people. But I got to Paris and started studying voice, and then went to London. And slowly I thought, no, this is what I really want to do. And when I came back to America, I got a job on Broadway. So I got to do 3 Broadway shows, Porgy and Bess, Scott Joplin's Trementia, Most Happy Fella. And that led to my meeting David Gockley, because David Gockley, it was his production of Porgy and Bess that I did on Broadway, a production from the Houston Grand Opera. And David Gockley is part of my life because he encouraged me to leave. And I was doing a character part on Broadway in Porgy and Bess, the part of the crab man. I'm talking about David Krabs. And David saw that I had those possibilities and invited me to Houston. And then slowly I built up to now we're at 75 roles that I run around the world singing.
Actually at the Met in 2002 means just 4 years after my debut. And I believe that the growing of my career happens so fast that it's a kind of record, it's a kind of Guinness, because I don't remember nobody in the history, even a soprano, even baritone, that make in so short time from zero, Parma, Verona, Scala, Vienna, Japan, and Met. quite impossible, but happens to me, thanks God. And I am glad that I am here to talking about